Welcome to the Coach's Corner. I am Brenda Vazquez along with Neitenbach, and we're here at the Tivoli Tap House where they have great food and great beer. Today is the last show for the 2018 and 2019 season. It's like our senior day, right?
It
on
is
the
like
Coach's
our
Corner.
senior day, yeah.
Yes. So how was your graduation day?
It was good. I actually ended up skipping walking to go to a job interview, and I got the job. So I actually start training tomorrow. I know I'm really excited to move on and progress with my degree.
I'm still job hunting, so
No, I totally get it. It's really hard.
Yes, it's hard.
And I had a lot of help from my family, so thank you guys. Thank you to everybody that helped me edit my resume. It really paid off. Thanks.
Yes. So who do we have on today's show?
So we're going to finish the year with some baseball talk. They took part in the RMAC Tournament, as you know. So we're going to bring in head coach Ryan Strain. We're going to stay with Diamond Chat, and we're going to talk or get to know senior catcher Draven Adame. He graduated as well, along with us a couple days ago. So we're going to get to know his thoughts about his time here at MSU Denver. And since it's the final show, we're going to bring on the man in charge, athletic director Anthony Grant. We're going to get to know his thoughts on the 2018-2019 Roadrunners year. And this is going to be the last day for trivia. So today is the day that we find out who is going to take home the trivia prize. So we're going to see if it's going to be Coach Strain or Coach Glenn in the end. It seems like it's going to be between the two.
We'll see. So it sounds like it's going to be a good show today. And before we bring on Dr. Grant, let's first update you on some Roadrunners news. We've seen Logan Sewell dominate the plate and on the mound, but the junior is also killing it in the classroom. The Louisville native was named to the Google Cloud Academic All-District baseball team after earning a 3.93 grade point average, majoring in physical education. Because of this award, Sewell is eligible to earn academic All-American honors from COSIDA.
More baseball awards for our Roadrunners as the All-Region Awards were handed out last week. Sewell was named All-South Central Region First Team after a stellar 2019 season, where the junior went 5-2 with a 2.27 ERA from the mound, while hitting 15 home runs from the plate. Matt Malkin and Draven Adame were named second team All-Region. Malkin led the nation in home runs with 25, while Adame hit .331 for the season, while hitting for the team's first ever cycle.
And one last piece of news, Jennifer Hankins was named to the 2018-2019 Google Cloud Academic All-District Women's at-Large team. The junior golfer carries a 3.99 GPA in engineering while leading the Roadrunners on the course. Hankins posted 1 top 5 finish and 3 top 10 finishes during this past calendar year. So now we welcome in Director of Athletics here at MSU Denver, Dr. Anthony Grant. Dr. Grant, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you both doing?
Good.
Pretty good. Happy to be graduated, right?
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you came back to do this?
We did.
Nice.
We'll never leave.
That?
We'll
Yes.
stay here forever.
We wish, right?
Lifers.
Yes. So before we get into some Roadrunners talks, we're going to ask you how excited you are to see that Bryce Harper is at the Phillies. We know you're a big Eagles fan, but how big of a fan are you of the Phillies baseball team now with that guy locked in for 13 years?
That's a long time for anybody to be locked in, but he's getting a boatload of money. To be honest, I haven't been following it that much. I was watching my Sixers go out in the Eastern Conference semifinals. So, you know, that shot that Kawhi took that was bouncing on the rim, that hurt my heart. I think it's still bouncing around in my head, you know. But, you know, so I'm a little disappointed about that. But I am a Phillies fan. You know, I follow, you know, all the sports. So it's really cool that, you know, we're able to bring a big name like that to the city. You know, I think it'll be good for the organization.
Yes.
I believe that, you know, we're number one in the division right now, and hopefully, you know, we can keep that going. And, you know, baseball, you know, you want to have your impact players, but it's also, you know, it takes more than one player, you know, in order to have a successful successful team. So, you know, we'll see how the role players are around them. But to answer your question, it's cool to have that big name.
He's going to be a good fit.
Yeah, he is going to be a good fit.
Yes.
Sounds good. So we got another year in the books for you. We saw a lot of good things from the courts, from the field, as well as the classrooms.
Yeah.
You know, what are some of the moments or achievements that have stood out to you in this past year?
I mean, it's interesting because we're still in the year, right? Because we're getting ready for the softball national championship, and we're going to have the auction at the end of the month. And I know you guys are going to be asking me about that. So I haven't really shut off and had a chance to reflect on the year. But we had volleyball go to the NCAA tournament again. We had the women's cross country program go to the national championship meet, first time in several years. And then we had a young man in indoor track advance to nationals in the 800. And then we had some glimmers and high points in most of the other sports throughout the season. So I feel like we've had successful spots, but overall as a department, it's been a challenge, and so it's going to be important for us to go and evaluate what it is that we need to do in order to continue getting better. We're Roadrunners. We have a tradition of success, and we set the bar high. So we're never really satisfied with where we are. So we're still going to evaluate and see where we are. But I think there were some bright spots, but we also need to go back to the lab a little bit and figure out how we can get better.
Got it. So you already kind of mentioned this. So you had two teams and an individual reach the NCAA championships this year. Some teams ended up missing out because of that. Do you feel that this program is on the doorstep of reaching that on a regular basis?
I have a lot of hope for this program. One of the things that keep me optimistic is the fact that we have coaches and staff and student athletes who are hungry. They want to be successful. I talked about this being a challenging year and us not being satisfied with where we are, and everybody feels that. And so with that energy, I feel like we can channel that and move that into the next year. And so I am very optimistic. I do feel like we're closer than where it might seem, but I think the folks that we have within the department and dedication of our student athletes will be able to move it forward the way we need to.
Yeah. So we saw some significant steps from Coach Ryan Strain and his squad. 14-game winning streak along with the amazing home run swings from Matt Malkin. Yeah. It must have been fun to watch that team do so well in 2019, right?
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. When you go on a 14-game winning streak, that's outstanding. That's nothing, to sneeze at, so to speak. And Malkin was cranking those things, man. When he hits it, it goes.
Yeah.
So it's good. And so when we talk about, the high points and what I'm excited about, the baseball program, are one of those programs I think, are on the doorstep and, figuring out how to put, our coaches and student athletes in the right position to be successful. We hope to be able to continue that level of success moving forward into next year.
So sticking with Diamond Talk, we want to talk about something that you already mentioned.
Okay.
The women's softball Division II World Series is going to happen here on our women's field. Can you tell us when it's going to all go down and what everybody can expect from this event?
Man, it's going to be an exciting event. 4 years ago when we hosted the championship festival, we had multiple championships going on at one time. And softball was one of those championships. It was an exciting event, a lot of followers, a lot of fans coming through. And so now when you fast forward 4 years and now we're just focusing on the softball championship, we expect it to be an outstanding event. We're going to have 8 teams here, at our facility. We had the participant call this morning, so everybody's excited, talking through, what this is going to look like. We have the NCAA folks coming to do a walkthrough tomorrow. Wednesday is going to be the practice day, and we're going to have the banquet and all that. And then Thursday we get rolling. So Thursday, through Monday being that championship Monday, I think it's going to be good. I think we're going to see, some high-level softball. Softball is one of those programs where the families and the teams, they travel. So we expect to see, a packed house. We expect to feel a lot of energy. We also, the NCAA associates community engagement with all championships, and so we're going to be engaging with the local youth here in the area. We're going to bring them in. So I think it's going to be an outstanding event. And, with our coaches and staff, all the effort that they put into it, I have no doubt in my mind that, the folks are going to leave here very impressed with what we had to offer.
Got it. So this kind of leads into the next question involving our commitment to Division II. So I know we kind of went back and forth about whether or not we would be Division I, but in the end we decided to remain right here where we are.
Yep.
So is there any reason why, or?
We took our time to take to look at it, right? I mean, we had as well documented. We had an overture from the Western Athletic Conference to take a look, and we did. We did our due diligence. We had outside consultants really look at it, and we talked about it in various ways for almost a year. And once we looked at it, we felt that overall, while we were flattered to have that offer, being Division II is consistent with the core values of this institution, consistent with the core values, our athletic department, our coaches, our student athletes. And obviously from a financial standpoint, it wasn't in the cards. It didn't fit for where we are. And so, while I'd like to have athletic programs that are on that Division I level because of how successful that we aim to be in terms of our value structure and value proposition rather, and who we are in the life in the balance, Division II is where we should be and where we decided to remain.
We're going to just say that we're going to play like it's Division I. Yeah. Because we have some good players out here.
We do. We have some very good players.
Yes.
Yeah.
So another event that folks should keep an eye on is this year's scholarship auction and dinner, which is going to be on May 31st. It's important for folks to take action now, whether that involves donating items or for the event, buying tables. Is that right?
Yes, buying tables. We'll have a silent auction. We'll have a live auction. We're going to use this as an engagement opportunity to bring our recent alums back. But at the end of the day, this is our largest fundraiser for the athletics department. We're looking for scholarship support, also program support, so we can meet the needs of our student athletes. It's a really fun event. We had a lip sync battle last year. There might be some clips, floating around, and so we're going to bring the lip sync battle back for this year. And like I said, it's a real fun event. It's not stuffy. People come, they hang out, they socialize with one another, and more importantly, they bid on auction stuff. And if you can't make it, you can bid on the auction items online. And that's off of our website, roadrunnersathletics.com/auction. So go visit it, come out, support us, and we look forward to seeing folks on the 31st.
You heard it, guys.
All right. So can you give us some insight on what you're hoping to do in the off season during, the summer, and what are your thoughts as you put a close on the 2018-2019 season?
Yeah, the off season is going to be short. We go through May, and then we'll maybe take a little break, and then you have June, July, and the student athletes are back here in August. So we're going to, as I said before, we need to do some evaluation. We need to see, where our strengths are within the department and figure out how to bolster them, and then figure out areas that need some work and what we can do to get better over the off season. And that's where we are. Every year it's important for us to look to get better. This year is definitely no different. And as I said, I'm not going to sit here and say that overall it was, the best season we've had or, successful. Like I said, we had successful spots. But we need to figure out overall how we can achieve the goals that we have athletically, academically, and in the community. And we're gonna do that.
Dr. Grant, it was a pleasure to have you here, and we hope you can watch your man, Bryce Harper.
Yep, my guy. I'll be watching a little bit more.
Hopefully he leads the squad to the playoffs, right?
Hope so.
Yes. So before we take our first break, let's hit with the social media world and tell you what's the tweet of the week. It comes from our tennis team account, where senior Joey Sherney was named on the ITA South Central Senior Player of the Year. The California native went 10-6 in singles play and 11-4 in doubles play, and his 69 singles wins ranks him second all-time in Roadrunners history. Great job, Joey. Time for that break, but stay close. We're going to talk RMAC Tournament with head coach Ryan Strain up next on the Coach's Corner. So glad you're back with us here today. And we say hello once again to baseball head coach Ryan Strain. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thanks, guys. Good to be back.
No problem. So before we get into the RMAC tournament, we want to talk about Matt Malkin, who won the RMAC's Co-Player of the Year. Did you ever imagine that Matt would put up the numbers like he did when you brought him into downtown Denver?
Not at first. When we first got him, he hadn't played in a little bit and, just kind of trying to get comfortable. And we hadn't seen him for a whole lot. We only had 3 weeks for our first game, so we kind of just had to hop right in. But, he did a nice job. And as things started to get going, you kind of see it coming out of him. And then he got on that great streak in March. And once he got that rolling, there's a pretty good chance that I thought he was going to be the Player of the Year. I think I was more surprised that he was Co-Player of the Year and just Player of the Year than I was if he just didn't get anything. So, he had a great year. It was a year that not many people have been able to put up, just with all different kind of categories. Going to last weekend, he was leading, in the Triple Crown and just, lost the batting average there just at the end. But had a really good year.
So speaking of another athlete who had some really big achievements, Logan Sewell was named Academic All-District Team. He also had a 3.93 GPA in physical education. So we always rave about the strikeouts that he has, but academics seem to be just as important here at Metro and for him.
Yeah, he's done a really nice job on and off the field. He's, especially for a kid that went and played professional baseball and, didn't take school for a couple of years and then I'd hop in and get back into the college, schedule. And he's done a really nice job in the classroom. He did well this year, but he also did well last year. And he's just, the hard worker. He's very driven on what he wants to do. And he had a great year on the field and obviously did a great job in the classroom too.
So now let's talk about the RMAC tournament. You took in Colorado Mines in the first round, and it was the Orediggers who swept you just 1 week prior. So the rematch was on. Give us your thoughts about this wild 10-9 win for your squad.
Yeah, it was a great game for us. We came off kind of a tough weekend the weekend before, and they got a really good team. They got to a regional final last weekend and won 40-some games or whatever it was. And so they've had a really nice team. They made a regional last year as well, so they were used to winning. And we just didn't play real well against them. We've been hurting a little bit with our pitching staff the last month of the season, and we just kind of ran out of pitching. And fortunately in the tournament, we didn't pitch great either, but that game we were able to score 10 runs. And it was an exciting game. Logan, Sewell hit the home run in the inning, to give us the lead in the ninth, and then we were able to hold it. So it was a lot of fun. I wish we could have kept it going a little bit longer, but that was a nice game. In the tournament, you never want to go 2 and out, and it was good to get that first win.
So you ended up having 6 lead changes in that first game, and it was Sewell who ended up connecting on and going ahead with a home run in the top of the 9th inning. It was the second home run of the game, and we mentioned Sewell was an all-region team. He also earned all-tournament team honors as well. Talk about his big game, and what does the ceiling look like for him in 2020?
Yeah, he had a great tournament. He was all-tournament team and I think he had 3 home runs on the weekend. And he's a great player. He's kind of getting pulled both ways because he's also probably one of our top couple arms. And so when we lost him, it was kind of tough on the pitching staff. But I think what it did do offensively is he got to focus a little bit more on his offense. And so he made, during that stretch where he wasn't pitching, he really made some great strides offensively and really had a great end of the year. So going into next year, we're hoping to continue that same offense. We're going to make some choices to see maybe if we'll put him more in the bullpen instead of being a starting pitcher. That'll help him offensively because that's a lot to ask when he starts, on the weekend and then also, has to pitch as well. So we'll just kind of modify and see how it goes. But he had a great year and he obviously helped us win with those 2 home runs that game.
Mm-hmm. So after earning the win in the first round, Dixie State Mines would take victories in your next 2 games to end your season. You gave up 20 runs in those 2 losses, while you battled to win giving up 9 runs in game 1. These high run totals has got to be tough to overcome, right?
Yeah, that was a tough part of our last month. I think we were leading the league in ERA until those guys got hurt, and we just had a hard time finishing them off. If you look at our last 3 weeks of the conference season and then the conference tournament, we gave up a lot of runs, and we had to put some guys in some different roles. Some guys that were doing a really good job in relief that have to throw, 1, 2, maybe 3 innings are now trying to go 5 and 6 innings, and they just kind of ran out of gas down the stretch. And, when you give up 29 runs, I think it was, 28 of them were earned in our tournament, you're not going to win. I mean, Dixie, I think their first couple games only gave up 200 runs. So, we lost to good teams. Nines made it, to the regional final. Dixie would have made a regional. They were the 6th seed, but they got bumped out of there because one of the other leagues had a team that wasn't in the region rankings that kind of snuck up and stole a bid. So, we would have had 3 teams in our league make the tournament out of the 6, and so it was a really good league this year, and we lost to 2 good teams. And, when you don't pitch it very well, it kind of trickles down to the offense, and just overall we just didn't have enough at the end to continue to play.
So what were some of the last words that you said to your team when you knew that the season was coming to an end, especially since, you had 12 seniors that are moving on?
Yeah, that was tough. I told those guys, I really feel this way. We had a great chance to have a chance to win the league and move into regional play, especially 3/4 through the season, and it just not end the way that we wanted to. But I told those guys that they gave it everything they had a great season. We did a lot of great things. A lot of guys won awards, set school records, and so there's something to be proud of. I wish they could have gone out on a better note, but I really appreciated their effort. Some of them I coached for 2 years, some of them I coached for a few months. But we built a great relationship. I said this to several people. It's the most fun team that I've had coaching, and a lot was because of those seniors. They're a great group of guys, and I'll miss having them around, during day-to-day practice. But I'm sure a lot of them will be coming back, and we'll see them next year.
See them at the games, right?
Yeah. So how impressed are you with this 2019 team? From 14 wins in a row to stellar performances, from across the board to the program's first cycle. This was quite a fun season for the fans and for you to be a part of.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun for, like I said, 75% of it. I mean, we were really doing some good things. It was just fun to see kids do well. We had some kids that had to bounce back from different situations, different schools that they went to, and to try to mingle all that together with 21 new players, and then with a group of guys that were here the year before, just to see them mesh and have that kind of a good season was a lot of fun. And then the individual records, what those guys said, and then the team record of winning 14 in a row. I mean, that was a fun 14 wins. Hopefully we can make a run at it next year and try to beat that. But there was a lot of high moments. I'm very proud of this team, and like I said earlier, I had a lot of fun coaching this team.
So we're going to end up having Draven Adame on a little bit later in the show. So he actually walked on at Lamar Community College, and then he ended up leading your squad to the playoffs as a captain. He's had really a quite, different collegiate journey than some athletes, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, Draven is one of the hardest worker I've ever been around. To be from Lamar, walk on at Lamar, and he'll joke about that he's probably like the 6th catcher when he walked on. A couple guys quit, a couple guys hurt. He kept playing and battling, and he got himself in there and had a nice career there. And then he came here, and I joke with him that, when my first day here, our first practice, and I was working with him, he had a ways to go, especially on the offensive side. And I challenged him. I challenged him to be the player that I thought he could be, because athletically I thought it was in there. And nobody worked harder over the 2 years since I've been here. And he made himself not just a player that could kind of help a little bit. He made himself an integral part of our program and a force on the offensive side, and did a great job calling pitches and catching. He just had a great career for his 2 years. And he's done a nice job in the classroom. I mean, he's what you wish you had in all 35 players. And not to say that we don't have great players, but if you had 35 of Draven Adame's, you're going to be in really good shape. And he deserves a lot of the credit he got. And I was excited for him to get second team all region. That was a nice, accomplishment for him. So great kid, great player, and he was a privilege to work with for 2 years.
So here we go, folks. We are going to start our trivia question from the 2018-2019 season. And as we can see in our leaderboard, volleyball coach Jenny Glenn is still on the top with 9 points. And as you,
What do I got? She's got 9, so I'm just a little.
She has 9. She's been at the top for a while. And you could also see that Coach Train is not far behind with 6 points. So we're going to give him a chance to earn 4 points to take the 2019 Roadrunners Trivia Championship. I hope you studied.
I tried. So.
He told you
I should have done.
right?
I should have studied more.
He said he studied.
So are you ready for the question?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we saw Matt Malkin break the record for home runs in a single season with 25. Can you name the next 4 single season home run hitters in MSU Denver's history? It doesn't have to be in order. You could just say the names.
I think I know. One of them would be, let's try to get his first name, Jordan Stouffer, right? Is he one of them?
Yes.
Where was he on that list? Because he comes
was
down.
number one.
Okay, he comes down to our alumni deal we have in the fall, and he can still hit some balls out of the ballpark.
Oh.
So I knew he was one of them. I don't know his first name, because I know they mentioned it. Vaughn, is there one?
Yep.
Last name Vaughn?
Yep. Get them in order, too. That was number 2.
That's all I
Todd
got.
Vaughn.
That's all?
Is there, well, can I get a hint? Like, is there any more recent? Not.
Well,
No,
I
I
mean,
got nothing.
technically
1989
it is
and
more
1990.
recent, but only by a few years.
90
Yeah.
and 89.
I got nothing. I knew it was, because I remember them talking, kind of going through the list. You know who should have been on this show is Coach Vig. My pitching coach, Mark Vig, knows all kinds of stats. So when Malkin was chasing it, I knew kind of a couple of the guys that were behind. That's why I knew both those names, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have known, but I did know that. So at least I got a couple, so I didn't.
So you're going to
completely
let
embarrass
Coach
myself.
Glenn win, just
I'm
like
gonna-
that?
what do I got?
Just keep guessing names. Like,
I
8?
mean,
I got nothing. It's in the 80s and 90s. I got
blanking.
Uh,
He's blanking.
nothing. I couldn't even throw out a name, so I'm sorry.
No.
I got close.
Yeah, he got really close.
Yeah.
You're in he's in second, so I mean, that's not bad.
Well, you could just tell Jenny that I won, and I can take the envelope right there, because she doesn't need it. Yeah.
That'll be on our hands.
Well, who are the
guess
other ones?
Well, it was
Rusty
Rusty Beefus with 15 and
I shoulda
89
got that.
and 90.
I knew that one. I know I can't come back. But the only reason I knew that is because of Mark Vig, because his son plays at Adams. So I should have got that one. That was.
I mean,
told
that
you to
was
keep
2 of the
guessing.
points, too.
yeah, it was 2
If you'd guessed
Both.
him, you would have gotten them both.
I'd have got them all, yeah. Beefus, his son, plays at Adams State. Yeah.
Well, Coach, thanks for hanging out with us today for all season long. It was so much fun to watch your team this year, and we hope the best for your off season.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
So one more segment to go. We're gonna catch on senior catcher Draven Adame from the baseball team. So stay close here at the Coach's Corner. Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. We are here to chat with Draven Adame. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Okay. But first, let's remind you about the coming up scholarship auction and dinner in a few weeks. If you haven't already, mark those calendars for May 31st, the day for this year's Roadrunners Scholarship Auction and Dinner. It's a great event where MSU Denver Athletics Department raises money that all goes directly to scholarships. Whether you are buying tickets to attend, bidding on some awesome stuff, or donating money to your favorite lip syncer, every single cent of the proceeds goes toward our student athletes. For more information, visit roadrunnersathletics.com/auction. So now we welcome in now graduated Draven Adame from the baseball team. Draven, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So tell us about what that big day where you walked on stage and grabbed that diploma and became a college graduate. What were your feelings at that moment?
It was a great feeling, you know. I'm the first one in my family to graduate, so it's just a real big accomplishment for me and my family, you know. It's just a big stepping stone for me as I go on with my career, trying to find a job right now, and hopefully everything works out as planned. So, yeah, everything.
I'm also a
everything was
first
awesome.
generation. It's just an amazing feeling
Yeah,
to
no, it's
be
awesome.
the first
Just-
one, yeah.
Just
So-
everyone's so proud, so it's awesome.
Yeah, well, congrats.
Thank you.
So you've had an interesting collegiate journey.
Yeah.
You walked on to Lamar Community
Lamar.
College to play baseball. You were there 2 years before former Roadrunner coach Jared Oates offered you an opportunity to play here at MSU Denver. What were some of the deciding factors in your move to come to school and play baseball in downtown Denver?
So I think the biggest part was Metro was actually the first team to offer me. I walked on at Lamar, and they gave me a shot there, and then a couple injuries here and there gave me a shot to play. Then going into my sophomore year, I came up and played Metro in the fall, and I did fairly well. So they offered me a couple weeks later, which I kind of told them I'll hold off until there's a big sophomore showcase in Arizona, which I went to, which then led to a couple other schools offering me. But from the schools that offered, Metro was definitely the best one, the best option for me. I have family up here, so it was real easy for them to come visit as well, and even just to come watch. So it just made the most sense. Everything was just perfectly right there. Everything worked out just perfect, so that was cool.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
But the roller coaster journey did not end there. You ended up having a really successful junior season. You actually ended up leading the team to the playoffs And as you were entering senior year, Coach Strain ended up bringing in a guy from Alabama, somebody that can hit balls out of the park very consistently, and somebody who also plays catcher.
Right.
But you didn't ever waver. You worked really hard. As you said, you're a really hard worker, so you worked really hard. He couldn't take you out of the batting lineup because of that. How did you keep up? How did you keep your mind in there and have an even better senior season?
I think going in from junior year to senior year, I think it was just a big, or not much of a difference, just I think it was a mindset. And whenever he brought in Matt, it was just, Matt, he's a great player, obviously. And I just knew that him coming in was just going to make me work even harder. And I didn't want to lose my spot, so I was just going to work for that,
Got that competitive drive right there.
Exactly. That's what it was. Just I was telling myself, like, I'm not going to lose my spot to someone else coming in. I don't care where he's from. But, don't get me wrong. Matt's awesome. He's one of my great friends. So.
Well, we're glad to hear it. You had a really good season. So
Thank you.
Job out there.
Thank you.
So speaking of Coach Strain, tell us how he's been able to bring the program to where it is right now. What have you seen from his coaching style that breeds a winning culture to make MSU Denver baseball a prominent program in the RMAC?
I think the biggest thing is he's bringing in kids from all over, He's bringing in a group of kids that are here to compete, and everyone wants to play under him. It's not like, oh, he's our coach just because he's here, Everyone that decides to come here wants to play here and wants to play under him. And he's a great coach, He's a great guy outside of baseball. And then during baseball, he'll get tough on us sometimes, but that's just what a coach has to do, To be successful, you have to be able to take a little bit to get to where you want to be. So I think that's what he does well. And the coaching staff in general just does a great job. We have some that'll just tell us how it is, and then others that'll bring us up. And it just all works out perfect, And I think it's just great having the amount of knowledge around baseball. Coach Ryan Strain has a lot of knowledge himself. He played a couple years in pro ball, and then his dad, Joe Strain, he's like he played in the majors, So it's like we have a ton of knowledge around us. So if most of the kids here are here to listen and wanting to get better, so I think that's a big part of it too.
So you ended up hitting .331 on the season. That went along with 7 home runs and 37 RBI. And we mentioned it a couple times today in the show, but you also ended up getting our school's first ever cycle on this season. And for the fans who don't know what that is, that means that he got a single, a double, a triple, and a home run. And to add a little bit more rarity to it, you ended up having that cycle happen over 2 days.
Yeah,
Can you talk about how that happened and how cool that was to be the first person ever to do it?
That was, the whole situation was just kind of weird, The first day, it happened how it did. I think I had a single and a home run that day, and then we got snowed out, so it was like, all right, we're going to come in the next day, finish the game, And then I got a triple my first at-bat of that day. Or the second day, and I was like, all right, well, I actually came in, and one of my teammates was like, hey, just hit a double, like not really thinking of it, but and then my last at bat, I was just like, all right, I have to do this, I'm so close, might as well just stay right side, which just a perfect pitch to do what I was trying to do, which I did. So I took second, and it was just an awesome feeling. It's just cool knowing that nobody's ever going to be able to take that spot away from me. I'm always going to be a part of MSU's.
He's number one.
Yeah, exactly.
And he will be number one.
Yeah, he'll be forever number one. So what is next for you? Can you tell us what you majored in, what your dream job is, and are you looking for jobs already?
Yeah, I'm actually currently applying for jobs right now. No success yet, but
what's your major?
I'm doing sport management. That's what I did, and then I had a marketing minor. Which it kind of goes well together. And then my dream job would be to be an athletic director, either at a high school or a college. So we're going to see. I'll probably go on and get my master's here in the next couple years.
There you go.
And from there, we're just going to have to wait and see. I can't really see the future, so
you're just going to make your family prouder and prouder by being the first person to get your master's
that's
too.
That's the plan.
Got it.
So Draven, it was a pleasure to have you here, and thank you for all your hard work on the field and in the classroom. Great luck to you in your next endeavor. endeavors.
Endeavors. Yep, you got it.
Thank you guys for
Thank
having
you.
me.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
thank you.
So, Catherine, that's it. Sadly, I'm sad actually.
I know. It's our last one.
Yes. So the final Coaches Corner of the 2018 and 2019 is in the books. We want to thank all of the coaches, the players, and the administrative staff for coming on this season. We want to thank all of the Coaches Corner hosts that have been on this season, and we want to thank Stephanie Raymond, the Director of Strategy and Marketing, who allows us to host our show right here at the Tivoli Tap House every week.
And we also want to thank you fans for watching us, whether it's on live on Stretch TV or if it's on replay on YouTube. We only do this show for you guys, so we thank you very, very much for watching us this season.
So for Catherine Neitenbach, I'm Brenda Vazquez. We'll see you next season on the Coaches Corner.